Quincy.
Do you believe it?
No. Governor Gregoire.
Harriet White. Hi, Kelly.
It's 1904, and it was built 10 years ago. It's almost done restored.
Our esteemed governor just got here, and we're going to save the best for last, so thank you for coming. So with that, I also want to make a couple more announcements. Eagles Milbergs is here from the Economic Development Commission, and I forgot him earlier, so good to see you, Eagles. And then our next speaker is Representative Tim Ormsby. He was a major player in working with the governor's office and working with labor and a lot of the high-tech companies, the ports on this bill, and we're happy to have him come all the way from Spokane. Good to see you.
Good morning. It really is a privilege and honor for me to be here on a little gray and overcast, gray and gloomy day, but we've got some shiny, sunny news to celebrate, and for that I'm eternally grateful. Well worth the trip to come over here. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you for all your hard work. In addition to the governor, I'm glad you could join us, Governor Gregoire. We had some big help and some heavy lifting from some folks that aren't here. From the Senate leadership, Senator Lisa Brown, I'm fortunate enough to be one of her constituents in Spokane. Speaker Frank Chop, the Ways and Means Chair in the Senate, Margarita Prentice, whose bill this was, the one that passed, and a special tip of the hat to the House Finance Committee Chairman Ross Hunter, who is also not able to be here, who said to me when the substantive part of this process got going, he said, let's work on some tax exemptions, ones that are going to create jobs and do it right away. How about we do that? And I was encouraged and emboldened by his confidence and was able to move forward based on knowing that we had that leadership support. And again, I would like all of my legislative colleagues to please stand. Come on, you know who you are. This is a prime example of what happens when good ideas, when communities come together, when there's discussion, cooperation. The fruition of that is events like this, but it's not this event, it's actually the work that's going on. And in my other life and in my other work, I represent construction workers, and we know in Eastern Washington particularly, we're hit very hard. And that's why special acknowledgement for the participation and the hard work of labor to get this bill passed in Olympia. It was through their efforts and through the fact that there wasn't a lot of private development going on, which this is a great example of, and the things that government can do in order to make that work. So we have government in cooperation with private enterprise and with labor, and this is the fruition. I'm very happy to have seen it come about. And finally, just on this note, having been a lifelong resident of Eastern Washington, when I came to Olympia several years ago, I had this preconception that we were a little undervalued because of our location, that we were going to have to fight harder to get what we had coming. And having been there, I can say that that preconception was a misconception. And it has to do with good ideas that come to Olympia, communities coming together, cooperating, having a vision, and being able to articulate that vision in a cooperative and coordinated fashion. And that's what happened here. And I will say that any idea coming from any corner of the state that is a value-added proposition, not only for that community and for the economy, but for prosperity statewide. And that is our motto: One Washington, prosperity for all of us. Again, congratulations and thank you.
Next speaker is Kerry Condata, Representative Kerry Condata from Wenatchee. He was a key player on the House Finance Committee and working with a number of folks to keep this bill moving along. So with that, Representative Condata, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. good to hear from Tim Ormsby. I'm hoping he will be the new ranking member on the Commerce and Labor Committee in January. That's an inside joke. It is a good day. There are a lot of people here because we are struggling in this economy to find optimism. There are not too many bright lights out there at this moment. As a small business person in the state of Washington, I can tell you it has been a battle like I have never seen. In the 29 years I've been self-employed, I've never seen anything like this. And it is a daily battle to stay alive. So it is good to see an optimistic situation, and that came about because of collaboration. For years on the Commerce and Labor Committee, we have tried to work with labor, and sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't, but this time we did. And I want to thank Dave Johnson, particularly, for getting on board this idea early, working with us, both in the Commerce and Labor Committee and then on the Finance Committee. We got this done. This is a beginning to me. This type of collaboration is what it's going to take to move this economy forward. We can no longer argue with each other because the rest of the world is moving by us. And we can work together, and we can make things happen like we have here today. But we must sit at the table, and we must come to agreement on some things. And in my 8 years in the Commerce and Labor Committee, there has been, unfortunately, very little agreement. I think that is about to change, and I'm hoping today is the day we start that path to a better situation going forward. So I am pleased that you're all here today. I am pleased that this project is taking place because of the collaboration between two groups which tend to be at odds. But in this particular instance, came together to make it happen, and I believe we'll do this again in the future. So thank you very much for being here today.
The next speaker is Senator Janaea Holmquist, who is our local state senator from the 13th District. She has been a steadfast advocate for the data centers and for high-tech development in this area. So with that, Janaea, come on up.
Thank you, Pat. Well, hello, friends, and welcome to the official first day of summer. Believe it or not, that's officially it is the first day of summer. And I just want to thank you, and it's such an honor and privilege to join you here today to celebrate the passage of Washington State's data center bill. But I think we're not only here to celebrate the passage of this bill, but to also celebrate and recognize those technology companies who have made Washington State their home, and those who are planning on expanding or already in the process of expanding and investing in Washington State because of the passage of this bill. Now in the legislature, Representative Condata, who was just up here speaking, he's the lead on the Labor and Commerce for the House Republicans, and I'm the lead in the Senate for the Senate Republicans. So creating jobs is my #1 priority in the legislature. And that's why I was ecstatic to be a co-sponsor of Senate Bill 6787, and even more excited when it passed and the governor signed it. So I want to thank the governor, thank you so much, as well as my colleagues in both the Senate and the House, labor, as well as our local leaders, from our port commissioners up to the mayor and everyone else, for your hard work which made this day a reality. And I need to extend a warm welcome and special thanks to Governor Gregoire and our colleagues for traveling to join us here today. Thank you so much and welcome.